Nahao, poso maoni wiak. I hope that you all enjoyed the last presentation on tenses and starting to understand how to use the commands in the verb form a little more. Today we're going to look at expanding our knowledge of AI verbs or animate intransitive verbs. This is a class of verbs that is particular to animate subjects not acting on anything, so to speak. And don't really worry about that right now. Just think of them as AI verbs, and as we progress a little farther, we'll talk more about the meaning of that. So the first thing to talk about is that in the TPR presentation, we learn these verbs, and we learn quite a few of them. However, we learn them in what is referred to as the command form. In other words, the way to tell somebody to carry out that action. Today we're going to take a look at some of the singular independent applications of these verbs. So for example, apeinon is the command. You're telling somebody sit down. Apeim, the first and second person singular form, which means I or you am sitting. The third person application, or apeu, can be translated as he or she is sitting. Now, as you take a look at the list of words in front of you, some of them you're going to recognize, and that's on purpose. Other ones are going to be new. And we try to think about words that you guys may use more often than others. So with your new knowledge of being able to read the language, we'd really like you to take your best effort and try to read the words. However, I will run down the list of command forms so that you get an idea of how they sound. Apeinon, pimohnenon, popamapisenon, momekanon, anokinon, wapeinon, popeisenon, kokanon, monahekanon, esitoekanon, sunyanehkenon, onanikosenon, michisenon, nepoenon. All right, and now do your best to pronounce the other words off of that pronunciation. The forms shown above are things that we worked on in the tense lesson. Now we're going to get to a new concept, the questions. To make a question out of the AI verbs listed above, follow these steps. In the first person, second person form, add an ET after the final M. For example, in the word apeim, you simply add ET, getting apeimet, effectively meaning are you sitting. In the third person form, replace the final W with a Q. So where we had apeu, we're going to chop the W off and replace it with Q, and we will get apeit. Apeit is asking the question, is he or she sitting? Now, apply a tense before the question. For example, kikes apeimet, did you sit? Kimak pimohnemit, are you walking? Kikato popamaposimit, will you ride around? And in the third person, for example, okes apeit, did he sit? Try it with some of the other verbs on the page. As we move along, we get to the section called statements. Now this is effectively for responding to the questions. In Menomini, we are accustomed to hearing the answer A for yes. However, there is also another acceptable form, which is A. A or A signifies an affirmation, or effectively yes. So, A nekes apeim, yes I did sit, or A nekes apeim. A kes apeu, yes he or she did sit. Now in Menomini, we've also got to be conscious of making negative statements, or effectively saying, no, I did not do that action. To make a negative statement in the first and second person, drop the final M and add an N-A-N to the end of the verb. So we might get kun nekes apeinon. No, I did not sit. In the third person, drop the final W and add N-A-N to the end of the verb, and it looks the exact same. Kun case apeinon. No, he did not sit. Now I'd like you to take this opportunity to try this with some of the other words. Now, if you're having some problems understanding this, please feel free to inbox us and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. Waiwanan kitana ni mua, natanawe makanuk ine. So if you guys are liking what you're seeing and you want to see more, you can visit us at our website, menomini.org, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Natanawe makanuk ine.